Hi there, welcome to today's Team Clueless Battle Report. We're playing on a strange alien planet today with yogurt pot towers and weird pink sand dune type things. We're playing two missions out of the book today. We're playing both the Relic and Emperor's Will, because neither of those missions are that interesting on their own. So that means you get an objective each, one there and one there, and then there's a relic at the top of this big tower in the centre, a nice blood angel symbol we're fighting over today. So we're going to have to climb the tower, grab the relic and run down the tower with it. See if that manages to happen. We're playing Hammer and Anvil today. I'm bringing my Orks and I have got this table edge over here. Paul is bringing his Space Marines and he is over this side. Let's see what we've got in our forces. Okay, we're playing 2,000 points today, and for the Orks I bought a massive war boss on bike. He's got a power claw, usual stuff, boss pole, cyborg body. He's got 5 knob bikers with him, 2 with power claws. One of the power claw dudes also has a wah banner, and I also have a medic dude, pain boy, in that unit. Then I have a squad of 12 Orks inside a truck. Usual knob shenanigans. He's got armour, he's got power claw, and he's got boss pole. I've got another one of the exact same unit there with the exact same truck. Both trucks have boarding planks. I've got a big strong unit of 30 shooter boys there. Knob has the stuff again, and I have 3 big shooters in the unit. I'm bringing, for the first time ever, I've owned this model for quite some time, a weird boy today. He's got the warp head upgrade. He's hoping to grow the war power for my 2 Dakar jets. Jason has just finished painting this one for me, looking pretty sweet. Matching up with this one. They've both got the extra shooter upgrade. Then I have 2 squads of 5 looters, and I have 3 big gun cannons. They've got 3 ammo runts. And then the power behind the throne, as it were, is a small chaos force. Basically I wanted to bring some obliterators. We have a chaos sorcerer. He's got a mark of Slanesh, just so I can take the Slanesh Primaris power, which is kind of like a 24-inch range strength 4 shot that goes well with the squad of bolters he's with. They also have 2 plasma guns in there, and then the aforementioned 2 obliterators, each marked with Nurgle.
Okay, so I'm bringing my Deathwatch again, with lots of Blood Angel help to make up the model count. We're led this time by Vulcan Heston, bringing all the flaming and melting goodness. In Elite we have 2 ironclad dreadnoughts, both armed with a melter gun and a heavy flamer, and they're both going to be drop podding in. For troops we have 2 tactical squads in rhinos. This is the first one, and this is the second one, and they both have combi melters, flamers and multi-melters. We have a unit of a third tactical squad which is going to be drop podding in, and they've got a flamer, a multi-melter and a combi flamer, so additional flamer in that squad. And we've also got this unit of scouts with combat knives. The sergeant has a combi flamer and a power fist. For fast attack we've got 2 land speeders with multi-melters and heavy flamers, and a storm talon with sky hammer missile launcher. And in heavy support we have a Vindicator, no upgrades, and a Storm Raven. The Storm Raven's using twin-linked multi-melter and hurricane bolters. Let's see how it goes.
Okay, here is our setup. I have got first turn and Paul is not going to be trying to steal the initiative, so I've basically gone for a long line of stuff. I've got truck there, knob bikers there, looters on this bit of hill, looters in that kind of like yogurt pot tower there, big guns there, and another truck over there. And then because Paul has got quite a lot in reserve, he's reserving both his planes, 2 drop podding ironclads, 2 deep striking in land speeders, and obviously a tack squad in a drop pod as well. I've spread out my 30-man boys squad to get maximum coverage, so basically he can't drop down and just flamer the crap out of me. So that's why the large 30-man boys squad, instead of charging forward as normal, is spread thinly around the rest of my army to stop him getting optimum flamer shots. Obviously I'm going first, so I'm going to need to move. Paul is setting up a huge number of models. He's got that rhino, and that Vindicator. That's that then. Okay, let's see how it goes. Okay, Orks is turn 1. Should I do the voice? Who knows. Orks is turn 1. So right, we decided we'd bunch up down this little corner, me and my lads on our big daiquiri bikey things, and we will shoot at that thing with a big cannony thing sticking out the front. We hit loads of times, and all our shots, they kind of like looked like they was going to go through it and do loads of glancing hits and stuff and take it out. But you seem to make loads of these savey things, and well, didn't do it in the end.
It's dark out there.
But luckily, yeah, we're on night fighting. Luckily, the cannon lads, they fired 3 shots at it, got 2 penetrating hits, and one of them did a crew stunned. No firing that cannon for him. Other than that, we just kind of like moved forward. The Chaos Space Marine buddy dude things, they moved up and they're going to climb this tower and grab that kind of like Blood Bowly thing at the top. And the boys, well, they all spread out, and the weird boy didn't teleport them out of the way, which was handy. And the other looters, both of them, they shot at those other boxy things and managed to do a single hull point to each. The lads over there, they sprinted forward in their truck. These lads went for a bit daring and decided they'd run through the terrain, get a bit of cover and such. What a shock. They broke the wheels on the front of their wagon and are now mobilised. Let's see what we can do with all his drop poddy thingy doomy things.
Space Marine turn 1. So the drop pods landed, this one landed with pinpoint accuracy, but this one's scattered off to the side rather a lot more than I would have liked, a 12-inch scatter. We're leaving this dreadnought with very few targets. So he just stepped out and heavy flamed the massive boys mob. Then we killed 3 of them, so they're quite well spaced out. This dreadnought had choices. He could either go and try and tangle with the Chaos Space Marines, or maybe have a tangle with the war boss and his bikes. He moved out that way. We didn't really expect a lot from all of our shaken and stunned vehicles, but we managed to get pretty lucky with a multi-melter shot from this out the hatch from this Rhino, which destroyed the truck which was here, depositing a whole bunch of troops right in front of this this dreadnought's heavy flamer. So that's reduced that squad to a wounded knob and a solo and one remaining boy. This Rhino, we had a shot out the top hatch with a multi-melter over at this truck, but we couldn't hit because we were stunned. And that's...
Do you want to quickly mention our Warlord traits? Because they might
be
pivotal next turn.
Yeah, so my Warlord Vulcan is a scoring unit this game, which is quite useful. And the War Boss over here is giving me -1 to my reserve rolls, which is pretty nasty in my list. I've deliberately taken quite a lot of things which are on reserve. I've still got a Drop Pod, a Storm Raven, a Storm Talon, and 2 Land Speeders in reserve. So he'll definitely be earning his keep if he keeps some of those things off the table.
Right, Orks' turn 2. The guys arrived in their planes and stuff, so they're on there. And those Chaos Blobby thingy, greeny, nurgly thingamy whatsits, they arrived also. They dropped down behind the dreadnought that was over here and melted it in the back and it exploded. It didn't kill any of our lads though, that was good. That drop pod over there, that got dackered to death by the looters over here. Rest of the stuff, this Dacker jet here, he came on, dackered in the back of that dreadnought there. I'd called a wah, so 18 strength 6 shots, he was a goner. The drop pod that was here, that was taken out by the big guns. They did a good job there. The looters that are over there, they shot at the Vindicator and took 1 whole point off. And then these 2 lads here, lamenting the loss, that was a big word for an orc, lamenting the loss of their 8 mates, they charged in and ripped it apart with power claw. Over here, the orky biker dudes, they dackered the Rhino as they went in, cracked it open, and then assaulted the lads at the back. We ain't killed them all, which is handy, so we can't be shot at this turn, and we're going to crump them all during Paul's turn, hopefully. The war boss beat up a sergeant in close combat, but bloody crack grenades dealt me a wound. Other stuff that happened. The Chaos Space Marines over here, they failed to move up a building repeatedly. Loads of shit rolls. Lads over here, they piled out the side of their wagon. They decided, obviously with a war turn, I needed a 9 to get to the Rhino. Failed to get there. They're going to be barbecued. Let's see what happens on Paul's turn. He really needs to get his reserves in, because that was an awesome turn for me. Everything I shot at died.
Space Marine turn 2, and we desperately needed some reinforcements from the air. And they arrived in the form of Vulcan's squad from their drop pod, a Land Speeder, and the Storm Raven. Vulcan dropped down in the midst of the right there in the midst of the battle, and we all piled out here. We used 3 flamers against the Chaos Space Marines. Mike rolled rather badly for his saving throws, and there are now 3 Space Marines and the Sorcerer left, and the Sorcerer has taken a wound. The Storm Raven came screaming in to defend us against the Obliterator menace, because I didn't really fancy getting plasma cannons in my new squad that had just arrived. It managed to take out one and wound another, and then the Land Speeder saw a cheeky multi-melter shot. I thought I'd be heavy flamering the Chaos Space Marines, but by the time the squad had fired, there was only 2 left. So we took a cheeky multi-melter shot and took out the last Obliterator. Over here, this squad piled out and did a number on these boys. There's only 2 surviving, but they made their leadership test. And to the surprise of no one, the War Bikes managed to finish off the first tactical squad and are now eyeing up a second tasty tactical treat. So let's see what happens in turn 3.
Right, Orc turn 3 was not quite as nice as the last one. So that flying red Storm Turkey thingamy, that came on, so we decided let's get that dogger. So both our Dakka jets, that one's got quite close, flew over and Dakkered into the side of it. Our weird boy didn't war, so we didn't get anything from that. So we Dakkered it up, 18 shots. I hit quite a lot, but couldn't roll a 6 to save my life, so did nothing. So then we unloaded both looter squads on it, couldn't roll a 6 to save my life, did nothing. So then we unloaded 3 of the big guns at it, couldn't roll a 6 to save my life, did nothing. So that weren't good. Unloaded my entire army onto it, didn't even do a single glancing hit, didn't even need to make a save of any kind. It was pretty poor. Me and my lads over here, we steam forward and turbo boosted, so we're nice and close to these, so even if they run away we can catch them up and crump them. The 2 lads that were over there, they hopped back in their truck and drove over to the sentry bit. Those Chaos Ally dudes, who ain't doing so well this game because the Obliterators have died off, they attempted again to climb the mountain in the middle, and well, one dude has now made it to the top level, but the rest are still stuck below. They cast their psychic shenanigan powers and fired at this little Zogger here, who's mobilised, needed 1-6, but again, couldn't roll a 6 to save my life, didn't hurt it. Then we charged in combat. We had our 30 lads, they all kind of like surrounded the Zoggian Space Marines, shot them a lot. I managed to position myself, so I killed 2 flamers with my shooting, so that when I charged in, he didn't just fricassee me with Overwatch. Vulcan killed a couple, he took a wound when shooting, and then we got into combat. Vulcan challenged me knob, and my knob died. But then me lads charged in, hit him a load of times, but only did 6 wounds. It was atrocious. So then Paul rolled his saves and failed 5 of them. So it wasn't atrocious. So we won that combat by 1. He stayed in combat, but we're outnumbering them quite a lot now. So it's going to be Vulcan with his 2-up save, and then we're just going to squish him, hopefully. That was the story of the turn. This thing is worrying me. Don't like it.
Space Marine turn 3. I was very lucky and I managed to get both my remaining reserves on. The Storm Talons moved in, and we had another Land Speeder land over here. So this Land Speeder flamed the looters. Now we've got this big mob in the fight over here. There's finally some space around the looters to do some mischief, and killed 4 of them and put the other one to ground. This immobilised Land Speeder managed to flame the Chaos Space Marines climbing the tower and took out 2 more. So it's just a Sorcerer and a Space Marine left on the tower. And a cheeky Stormbolter shots took out one of these looters over here. The rest of my army all decided we couldn't. These war bosses, the war bosses, bikers were just too threatening, and we had to deal with it. So I've gone into hover mode against my better judgment with the Storm Raven, disgorged scouts. This tactical squad moved around, and the Storm Talon moved in, and we put a hell of a lot of firepower into them. We've managed to whittle them down to just the Pain Boy and the War Boss. The War Boss has taken 1 wound, so quite depleted. Over in this fight, Vulcan managed to crack 2 heads together. My Space Marines didn't do anything, and then all these boys all rained off the Artificer armour of Vulcan, who stood there taking it all, didn't take a single wound, so that was quite nice. But this combat is going to go on forever.
Right, Orks' turn 4. So, we had a few things we had to do this turn. Firstly, there was this little land speeder that was there who kept on flaming my poor Space Marine allies. So this Dakka jet did a really hard right angle turn, got over here, and then its little turret mounted on the back, shot it and killed it, which was awesome. This other one here, we're a bit scared of because it can just run around and flame us to crap. So this dude got up and snap fired. They all fired at it over there, and that dude there fired, and the 2 Space Marines fired. As you can see, no damage. Oh well, can't win them all. The Space Marines up here finally got to the top, and this dude is now the proud holder of a relic. So I scoring the Relic at the minute. Down in the Vulcan fight, we did our psychic powers and got +1 attack. So 48 attacks later, I dealt a wound to Vulcan and killed the last remaining Space Marines. So that combat is looking pretty sweet for me because we're just going to bury him under a pile of attacks. The big guns, they fired over there at the Rhino, managed to get another hit on it, knocked its Stormbolter off. Sod's bloody law. So, this Dackerjet, he went screaming forwards and shot the crap out of the Storm Pigeon. Storm Pigeon landed on the floor, dead. Over here, these two dudes, if you remember, they survived the explosion of their truck early on and then killed a Vindicator. They snuck up behind the Storm Raven and punched it with a Power Claw. It has been crew shaken and weapon destroyed. What weapon did we? We destroyed the multi-melter, didn't we? So he's still there, but he's pinned in combat with a Power Claw because he can't move this turn. So that's looking okay. The War Boss and his mate, they ran over here and dackered a bit into the scouts. They killed the Sarge with their Dacker and then charged in, killed I think 4 or 5 of them, and the rest of them run away and they're here. But being Space Machines, they're going to rally, move back and probably shoot me in the arse. Other than that, that was it.
Space Marine turn 4. The Brave Scouts immediately got stuck right back into the fray. They're no chickens. They moved up. They had some shots at the Power Claw that was menacing the Storm Raven, but didn't manage to do anything, so they charged in and killed 2 Orks in single combat. Excellent. The tactical squad continued to try and hunt down the War Boss. They managed to put 2 more wounds on that bike squad, but unfortunately they're evenly distributed so that both the Pain Boy and the War Boss are up and on 1 wound left. The Storm Raven took some pot shots into the rear of the Dackerjet, dealing 2 hull points to it, so that's nearly down. And the Landspeeder took a cheeky shot at the truck that was over there with its multi-melter, blew it up. Unfortunately it careered out of control and deposited its 2 Ork passengers right next to it, so it's now under a threat from them. Unfortunately, finally, Vulcan, who had been left on his own in the last combat, succumbed, killed another 3 Orks, but eventually the tide has managed to take him down. I think he's killed over half that squad in total.
Yeah, I think the psychic power is the only reason I won that.
Yeah, it was a lot closer than we thought it was going to be because of the mighty Artificer armour and my inability to roll a 1. So, going into the Ork turn 5, which might be the last turn of the game, he's in control of the Chaos Space Marines have claimed the Relic, and that Ork boys mob will easily be able to shuffle over to claim that objective there. This objective is unclaimed, so I've got 2 troops choices near it. And I got first blood when I destroyed that truck at the start of the game. Unfortunately, Vulcan succumbing means that Mike has claimed his Slay the Warlord point. And we currently both have Linebreaker, although my Linebreaker is only with a drop pod and a land speeder, so they're quite easy to
drop pod doesn't count for it.
Doesn't it? Okay, so just the land speeder.
Neither does the land speeder.
Oh well, then I haven't. So I haven't got it then. So what counts? Just infantry models?
It's anything that can contest.
Oh, okay. So your war bosses bikes are the only people giving you.
But they're not exactly a solid unit.
No, they've got 2 wounds between them. Okay, let's see what happens in turn 5.
Right, Orks' turn 5. This is the last turn of the game because our other mates have arrived to play some Drop Zone Commander, in which I'm playing some orangey stuff. So, let's see what we're doing. So, this turn we prioritise this land speeder. You can see it wasn't very successful because it's still zogging well here. We fired an entire Dackerjet at it. Well, it survived that. So then we fired this loot who snap fired and those 4 looters at it. It survived that as well. So then we fired some of this squad at it. It survived that. So then we used these dudes up here. They cast their psychic power and shot down at it. It survived that. So then these 2, they fired pistols at it. It survived that, so they charged in, and it survived that. It took 1 hull point from my entire army firing at it, which weren't good. These things over here, they made up for it. They shot once at the zogging great big red flyery thing, and blew it up. Well, crashed it on the ground, so it's now giving cover to our boss and him. So they charged in, dackered a bit of the scouts to death, and then crumped them, and then have consolidated a bit. So they're actually holding this objective at the minute, but I reckon those space machines over there may well be able to kill me. That Daiquiri jetty thing over there, he shot at the Rhino, didn't do anything. That was about it.
Yeah. Space Marine turn 5. It has come down to this. So at the start of the turn, we needed to reclaim this objective from the Ork War Boss. and we needed to take the relic out of the hands of the Chaos Space Marines because we were sure as hell on killing all those orcs. So my cheeky land speeder of godliness, who cannot die, moved up, heavy flamed and multi-melted the Chaos Space Marine, who hit the deck but still died in the burning agonies of the purifying flame of the Emperor, or something like that. I still needed to take back this from the Orc War Boss though. We moved up, I managed to get a 6 on my move through cover roll, and I still needed to charge 8 inches, but I managed to charge 11 inches through cover, with 2 6s and a 5. So
I wasn't happy.
So I've managed to get all these Space Marines in. If I can kill the War Boss and the Big Mech, and the, what's he called? Pain Boy. We will have this objective, and First Blood, and Slay the Warlord. So compared to the Orcs, who will have just this objective and Slay the Warlord. So we would win by a point. So I've rolled to hit, I've rolled to wound, and I have put 2 wounds on this squad with 2 wounds left. Mike has to make... If Mike fails both these armour saves, it's a famous victory for Vulcan and the Space Marines.
4+. It's a cock dice! Could you believe it?
He's dead, you've got Feel No Pain.
I've got Feel No Pain to go!
It's a victory! Glory to the Emperor on this day! That's amazing. I totally did not deserve to win that
I
game.
can't believe you won that.
I totally snatched that there. That was fantastic. Okay, so we've got a game of Drop Zone Commander Day to play, so we'll do a bit. We wouldn't do much of a post-match analysis.
Yeah,
but,
overall, I really enjoyed that game.
It was a fantastic
excellent.
game. Really good. Really back and forth. After turn 1 and 2, I thought I was out of it completely.
Yeah, because I nearly annihilated. You were nearly off
I was nearly off
turn
the board,
2.
yeah. But managed to claw it back.
Yeah, your flyers came in, did a lot of damage, and the 2 land speeders were fantastic.
Yeah.
Utterly, I just couldn't kill that one.
Yeah, it was brilliant.
I knew it was the only danger to my dude.
Yeah.
But I fired my entire army at him, and it still didn't die.
Sure. Well, let's see. That was an excellent game. See you in the next battle report.
Yeah.